Have you noticed how certain things that once brought you joy now feel hollow? The noise you once found comfort in, the conversations, the crowds, the chaos, they now feel distant, foreign, even draining. It's not that you've changed in a worldly sense. It's that your soul is awakening. And when it does, Allah gently removes you from the noise, not as a punishment, but as an invitation. You're not being abandoned. You're being called into solitude, not isolation. There is a sacred difference between the two. Isolation is the absence of connection. Solitude is the presence of divine intimacy. In solitude, your soul can finally breathe. Your heart, which once beat to the rhythm of external validation, now begins to beat to the remembrance of its creator. And your purpose, long buried beneath expectations, distractions, and noise, begins to whisper its way to the surface. Because here's the truth. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's the womb of spiritual rebirth. It's where souls are recalibrated, not broken. Where destinies are aligned, not delayed. Where faith is deepened, not tested beyond repair. Solitude is where prophets were shaped. It's where revelations descended from the heavens. It's where the soul meets its sustainer in raw, honest silence. The prophetic blueprint of solitude. Look closely at the stories of those most beloved to Allah, and you'll see a recurring theme. They were all called into solitude before they were called into greatness. Prophet Musa, A.S., was separated from his people, cast into a river as an infant, raised in a palace that wasn't his own, and then exiled into the desert. It was in that desert, in solitude, that he encountered the burning bush. It was when there were no distractions, no status, no worldly support left, that he heard Allah's voice. Indeed, I am Allah. Quran 20:14. Prophet Yusuf, A.S., was thrown into a well by those who should have loved him, alone, afraid. Then later, imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. But in that darkness, he didn't despair. He turned inward and upward. His connection with Allah only deepened. And when the time came, Allah elevated him, physically, emotionally, spiritually, to a station of leadership and honor. And our beloved Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he didn't receive revelation in a palace, among the people, or on a stage. He was alone in the cave of Hira, in stillness, in reflection. And it was in that quiet sanctuary of solitude that the voice of Jibril, A.S., broke through the veil of silence, and history was forever changed. So if you feel alone right now, if the world feels distant, if you find yourself retreating from people, places, and patterns that once defined you, understand, you're not being left behind. You're being led ahead. When there's no one left, you finally turn to the one. Sometimes, Allah removes everyone from your life, not to leave you empty, but to leave you undistracted. When you have no one else to talk to, you finally talk to Him. When you feel misunderstood, you pour your heart out to the one who created it. When everyone leaves, you realize He never did. And that's where true healing begins. We spend so much time seeking comfort in others, in conversations, relationships, successes, even distractions. But those things can only comfort the ego, not the soul. The soul longs for its origin, its home, its source, Allah. And when Allah wants you to return to Him, He sometimes clears the room. He silences the noise. He gently removes the things that are drowning out His whisper, not out of anger, but out of love. Falling in love with the silence that heals in solitude, your soul begins to recalibrate. You begin to detach from the need for constant approval. You stop chasing noise to distract from your wounds. You stop running from yourself. Instead, something miraculous happens. You begin to fall in love with your own company, not because of ego, but because you recognize Allah is there. You begin to feel His presence in the silence between thoughts, in the wind brushing past your skin, in the way your heart softens during sujood, in the tears that fall without explanation, in the peace that descends for no worldly reason. You begin to smile, not because someone praised you, but because you feel seen by your Creator. You begin to sleep with contentment and wake up with hope, not because life is perfect, but because your heart trusts the one who controls it. You begin to carry yourself with dignity, not because others respect you, but because you know who clothed you in spiritual honor. This is not emptiness. This is preparation. Being alone doesn't mean you're empty. It means you're being filled with what truly matters. Tawakkul, trust that whatever is removed or delayed is for your ultimate good. Tawbah, the beautiful return to Allah after forgetting yourself and your purpose. Taqwa, that silent shield that keeps you grounded in divine awareness, even when the world tests your limits. And in this quiet state, something else happens. Your vision becomes clear. You begin to see who is sincere and who is seasonal. You begin to understand that not every companionship is meant to stay, and not every loss is a punishment. Some separations are divine surgery, removing the infection so your soul can heal. The strength built in sacred silence. People often ask, why is Allah putting me through this loneliness? But loneliness isn't what's happening. Alignment is. Elevation is. Sanctification is. You're being taught how to stand strong without any hand to hold but His. Smile with no audience but His angels. Love your soul not because of what it does, but because of who it belongs to. Allah is preparing you. He is rebuilding you in private before unveiling you in public. Because what He builds in solitude, no storm can shake. Your transformation is sacred and secret. Think of the butterfly. It doesn't transform in the spotlight. It doesn't grow wings in a crowd. It disappears into a cocoon. From the outside, it looks like death, stillness, emptiness. But inside, a miracle is unfolding. You too are in that cocoon. And when the transformation is complete, you won't fly as who you were. You'll soar as who you were meant to be. So don't rush this season. Don't resist the stillness. Receive it. Let the silence speak. Let the healing happen. Let your soul soften, because this is not a detour. It's the path, the divine wisdom in hiding. And if you're wondering why Allah has kept you hidden, why your talents, your love, your sincerity, your beauty, or your dreams haven't been seen or received, yet remember this: Allah hides those He chooses, not to hurt them, but to hold them, to protect them, to prepare them, just like a gem is buried deep underground, just like gold is purified in fire, just like seeds grow silently beneath the soil before they break through. You are not unseen. You are being protected, because some lights are too bright for premature exposure. A heartfelt reminder so the next time you feel unseen, the next time you feel left behind while others seem to be moving forward, the next time the silence feels heavy and the days feel slow, remind your heart. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Not everything sacred is loud. Not every step forward looks like movement, and not every form of progress is visible. Sometimes Allah slows you down to root you deeper. Sometimes He quiets your life to awaken your spirit. Sometimes He delays the connection to perfect the bond. Sometimes He leaves you alone to remind you you were never really alone. When the time is right, when your heart has healed, when your vision is clear and your purpose is strong, Allah will reintroduce you to the world, but not as the broken version of yourself that once needed saving. Not as the person constantly seeking validation. Not as someone lost in comparison. He will reintroduce you as the version He always saw. The version refined by fire, healed by faith and carried by hope. The version aligned with divine timing and soul-deep sincerity. Final words, so no, you're not being left behind. You are being led forward, quietly, gently, divinely. Because Allah doesn't rush those He loves. He nurtures them, He hides them, He holds them close until they're ready. And when you finally emerge, you won't just be healed, you'll be whole. And those who once overlooked you will wonder how you shined so quietly. But your heart will know. It wasn't the world that refined you. It was Allah. Let this be your reminder. Your solitude is sacred. Your silence is strengthening you. Your stillness is not a pause. It is preparation. Trust in the process. Trust in the pain. Trust in the path. Because the one who is guiding you doesn't make mistakes. And He never forgets the hearts that remember Him in the dark. Remember Him in the dark.